Well, we've been discussing the issue of distributor commissions getting affected after SEBI announced its decisions on where they should be at last week. Now, the big question is, where do distributors go from here? Commissions have come down. They are, of course, faced with the threat of newer distribution mechanisms, and that is the big threat that distributors face. Or is it a threat indeed? Now, we have with us Rajesh Krishnamoorthy, Managing Director of iFAST Financial India, which is an online B2B platform that will offer integrated mutual fund products and services to independent financial advisors. Now, Rajesh, you interact with independent financial advisors quite a bit. In your opinion, how will the new variable load factor actually impact business for MF distributors?
I think, just taking a step back, the worry is a bit overwhelmed as of now, because overall, if you look at it, the investors always had the option to go direct and invest in mutual funds without paying any load since Jan 4, 2008, when SEBI came out with this regulation that direct investments with mutual fund houses is going to be zero load. So when you know that there was an option existing, and that in spite of that, even today, out of the 6 lakh crore assets that we have, over 5.5 lakh crores is still advised. It must give a lot more confidence to the distribution community that yes, this is something that is interesting for us to explore, and that there is an introspection that we could do from what kind of a model do we follow from now. I see that in the long run it's going to be beneficial. That's my take, and I would like to, put this across to the entire industry that this kind of a regulation always helps people to find their positioning in the market. As iFAST, we operate in 4 countries. Besides India, is 3: Singapore, Malaysia, and Hong Kong. Now, in all these markets, you already have variable load. It's always been variable load, more or less. So what happens is, you figure out as a distributor, what is it that you want to do with your investor? Do you only look at transactional support? Then that means that, your model would be a very low cost model. So the transaction support is all I do. I don't do anything more. Mm-hmm. The other bit is, do I get into planning? Which means that I go a little more sophisticated.
Right, Rajesh, but the point is, you did mention that effective January last year,
yes,
investors were allowed to go directly to mutual funds and invest, yes, without going through distributors. But yes, how many mutual funds enabled a situation like that? You've had instances of investors coming back and saying that I went to this mutual fund to invest, I had the money with me, I had the check with me, and I was directed to the distributor, because everyone knows that somewhere mutual funds need to keep distributors happy.
Well, personally, I'm not aware of such a situation, because from a concept that goes against the spirit of the law, I would want to believe that hasn't happened, because I come from a manufacturing house prior to this role, and that's something that I don't think.
Rajesh, you were just telling us what your model is for your business, but given the new changes in regulation, would you say now a business like yours is actually best placed to absorb the clientele that possibly smaller distributors are going to lose out now, because you're in a position to offer the kind of services that a lot of investors would be looking for, to be able to get the right advice, to go to someone who has a gamut of services to offer. So is that something that your business is looking at, absorbing these extra clients that possibly...
No, a slight difference. I would want to put it this way. The way we look at it from a platform point of view is that we want to empower a lot of these financial advisors with enough tools and support for their business, so that they can be more efficient, they can be more cost effective, and at the same time show value add to their clients. For us as a B2B platform, our intention is always to empower the advisor. We are not a platform that goes and speaks to the client or the advisor.
So if a client were to come to you directly,
yes,
would you then pass them on to an advisor, or would you,
Okay, let me clarify. We've got 2 models. One is fundsupermart.com, which is for the self-directed investor, and the other business is the platform business, which is aimed at the advisor. So under a platform business, as an organization, we do not believe in handling a client directly. We are there for the advisor, and we believe that the advised client is supposed to gain out of the support that that we give the iFAST. So for us in this context, the way we would want to put it to the advisory community is that you find ways of showing the value add to the client. And if you show that value add, it would be difficult for a client to say, I don't want to pay you any fees.
Right, but Rajesh, suppose I am a very rich person, which I am not, and I have a lot of money to invest with you. Okay. Why would you want me to go through an independent financial advisor and not take me on directly? So somewhere, is there this fear with a platform such as yours that if you try and somewhere isolate the IFA, they may team together and say, okay, ban iFAST, let's not go to iFAST because other online distribution platforms are going to come, we'll go to them. So is that a fear you have, which is why you're telling retail investors that you have to go through the IFA route and not come to me directly?
No. Okay, just a very valid question. But the model that I was trying to share with you is the business to business model is very clear. We do not deal with clients. But if you're saying that, I hope you are a rich man and you will become one. But then, when you say that you want to do it yourself, that means, I do not have a single person talking to you. I would say that please go to fundsupermart.com, which exists for the last 10 years. You can go and see all the details that we have for you as a self-directed investor. All I have is someone to support you on phone if in case you are getting stuck with the website. So for you is self-directed. You go read the analysis, research yourself, which we put out for you, and you please do what you want to do. But for me, I'm not a brick and mortar structure where I have sales people around the place or the cities and I directly interact with clients. That's not been the model for us ever since we started off in 2000 in Singapore.
Actually, I'm going to ask you a very quick question because we are unfortunately running out of time. But this is examining the regulation changes that have been made. A question that is coming up across the industry, and if you have the answer, what happens to SIPs that have already begun, where I've already decided on a structure that this is what I'm going to pay? Will this be retrospective? Will this be something that will start to apply from every SIP payment I make from now on?
Well, it's a difficult question because then I'm preempting the regulation fine print. Because as far as I'm concerned, what I'm aware of as of now when I speak to you is that the entire mutual fund industry is expecting a circular from SEBI which details out the nitty-gritties of what has been mentioned in the 4 lines of the board meeting last week. Once the circular comes out, there would be enough clarity across the board as to what's going to happen with lump sum, with SIPs and the way forward. So I think we should just keep our eyes and ears open and watch out for that details.
All right, Rajesh, many thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much.
We're moving on now to another